This podcast is brought to you by Fandom Spotlight. Check us out at fandomspotlight.com. Have fun and follow your fandom.
Anime, we have your attention please, and welcome to another episode of Dragon Ball Faux Life, where you come for the content but you stay for the culture. That's right, we talking Goku and Soul Food. We talking about Ichigo with our Ichi bros. We them outlaw stars giving you them outlaw bars, preaching the good word on all things nerd. As always, we are your hosts, the Fusion Dance Dons, aka the Manga Gods. I am Bro Gita, the Prince of All Saiyans, Mr. Matthew Porter, aka Matty Ice, here with my counterpart, the Oob to my Majin Buu, my Den, day one, going from the lookout to the cookout, Mr. Troto Trav. Talk to the people, Trav.
I mean, you know me. I stay chillin', and I love thy women like Krillin. And life is muy bien, so keep the third eye open like TN. Let's get it.
Woo! Let's go. I ain't gonna hold you. As I was going through it, I was remembering it as I was saying it. And I was like, I don't
I could tell with the Outlaw Stars one. Because I saw you like hesitate real quick. Just like real quick.
Yeah, like no, because you know what? It wasn't the Outlaw Star one. It's always the preaching the good word on all things nerd. That's the one that, because I always want to say like preaching the good nerd. I always want to like flip flop nerd and word every single time. But I was like, all right, let's get it.
Yeah.
Right. But we back. Another episode for a chapter review, chapter 91. Wasn't this just called like superheroes or something? I don't even remember the name of the chapter. I never know the name of the chapter. That's your specialty.
Just read it this morning, so I can just pull it up. But yeah, their titles are usually not that creative, and I would assume for even this chapter, even more so.
Running theme.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called Hito Gets Out of Jail.
Yo, right. Like, Hito free.
Right.
Hey, even that would probably
free.
be better than like some of the other ones they had.
Big facts.
But
big facts.
Yeah,
but yeah, we are doing another chapter breakdown. We have officially caught up to where the movie is, so we're gonna do a little bit different of a breakdown. I would imagine for the rest of this arc, we're probably gonna cover these a bit different because how we opened up with the not rebrand, I guess season 2, for lack thereof a better term. You know, we were doing these breakdowns for you guys a bit differently, where we were pretty much kind of just like covering the chapter briefly, a little brief summary, because obviously our explanations won't do the actual source material justice. And then me and Trav will alternate and giving you 4 pros, 4 cons for each of us, and then we would flip-flop for the next chapter. But for this one, it essentially is exactly what like the first 15-20 minutes of the movie was, but there are a couple additional details, as you would have imagined, that were put into the manga that weren't into the movie. So me and Trav aren't really going to do a review of this chapter because it's legit the movie, so just go see the movie, and we've already done a review of the movie, so if you want to go back and do our review of the movie, right, to hear these chapters, feel free to do that.
If you want a timestamp of like the specific details that Matt is going to give you, that's all you need to know, because outside of that, it's just literally the first 15 minutes of the movie. And Matt, the title of the chapter is The Red Ribbon Army's Revival, so another creative one on deck.
You know, it looks that last 11:59 title needs to be submitted at 12. Yep. We talk about it all the time. But pretty much what we're going to focus on for this episode, and I would imagine the next couple of reviews we do, is we're pretty much just going to kind of talk more on what we want to happen, like what details we want added, and then also we can not necessarily compare and contrast the movie versus the manga, but we can touch on the details that weren't in the movie that were added, and maybe we can even get into if we liked the detail that was added or if we didn't like it. But as we did just kind of pre-mention, this chapter, the Red Ribbon Army coming back, it is literally how the movie took place the first 10 minutes, first 10, 15 minutes. We get some Piccolo Pan action. We get Hito getting out of jail. We get the Piccolo Gohan conversation where Piccolo's really laying it on thick that Gohan's a shitty dad, just like Goku, right, which I thought was really funny. But Trav, well, before we hit record it, I did mention that I actually really did like this for the small details that were added. So I guess the first one that we can touch on is pretty much how they opened up the manga. So in the movie, the first time we see Piccolo and Pan, they're kind of just doing like their sparring training session, and then Pan goes home, and then Vidal's like, "Oh, can you pick Pan up from school tomorrow?" And so Piccolo's like, "Oh, fuck, Gohan can't pick up his own kid. Don't make time for his kids. This is looking real reminiscent."
Well, how about him just snapping on Gohan and him not questioning Videl either? Like, it takes two to tango.
Facts. But yeah, that whole conversation of like, "Oh, what's so important that you can't pick up your kid from school?" I thought this shit was hilarious. It hit close to home. But in the movie, the first time we see Piccolo and Pan, it's just them doing the training. But in the manga, we actually get a couple pages just kind of showing their dynamic of the first time he picks her up from school, and them pretty much just having like a student teacher, very, very much akin to the relationship that he had with Gohan. And Piccolo actually decides that he's going to train Pan. He was like, "Well, since your grandfather's off world, your dad's always busy, you're about the same age that your dad was when I trained him, so I might as well train you," which I really like. I like that they're making it full circle, that Piccolo has now definitely pretty much become a surrogate father again to Pan, his true grandchild and whatnot, as opposed to, I think like the easy thing to do would have been to have like Goku train Pan, which what he was kind of doing in the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, and then obviously the non-canon GT. But I like the switch and having Piccolo train her instead.
One could even argue that Gohan's a worse father than Goku, because at least Goku was training so that he could protect his kids. Gohan said,
"Save the world, all saving the world."
Yeah, Gohan said, when Piccolo's like, "Why don't you stay up on training because there might be some evildoers that'll show up?" He's like, "Oh, we got Goku and Vegeta." So technically, he's kind of worse than Goku, because at least Goku would stand up and defend. Gohan's like, "Nah, someone else will do it." So,
and on top of that, kind of to what you just said, Trav, as negligent as Goku was, a lot of the time is because he was off world saving the world, or dead because he saved the world.
Right.
Gohan is my man's doing. He's great in projects and studying insects.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. And he can fly, so like it's not even gonna take.
But that's why we up high. Because I was literally about to say it's not like he gonna hit traffic.
No,
you can fly.
Literally. Hell, if he's so dedicated to his studies, learn instant transmission real quick, and you'll be fine.
Real facts. Take you got. I mean, however you want to get it. Either call Whis and be like, "Yo, can you send my dad or Vegeta to me real quick?" Or fuck it, go to Yard Drag. You got spaceships.
Bulma got the Dragon Balls on deck. Wish for it. Just be like, "Yo,
wish for the ability.
Can you give me the ability of instant transmission? Like legit."
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy that you say that no one's ever thought to. I know, like Saiyan Pride, they would never take like that cheat code, like let me learn Super Saiyan. Like, but that's funny that no one they're very vague when they make their wishes.
Yeah.
Like no one ever just says like directly, "Yo, I need this real quick." Like, give me something that can kill Goku. Because at least give me a gun that can kill Goku.
At least asking for the instant transmission thing. He's not like asking for a new form. It just like that would have been just the easy solve. But instead, he's gonna keep studying them insects and losing his powers because he's not keeping up on his training.
Yeah, but how do you feel about Pan being Piccolo's student as opposed to Goku, which was kind of the way they went pre this now being the way that they're going?
I think it feels right. Especially since you and I have alluded to the fact that, Earth should be kind of like Piccolo and Gohan's territory, where like universal threats should be Goku, Vegeta, and then Broly whenever he comes back into the fold. So I think it's just, I always love when Piccolo takes on fatherly duties, just because it's just, he's an alien. I mean, they're technically all aliens, but at least the Saiyans look humanoid and can blend in a little bit better, where Piccolo is just a big green giant. So, but I do, and also too, I think I saw this on Twitter. Someone had shared a screenshot of one of the outro songs for Super, like towards the end, and one of the screen grabs from the outro was Baby Pan playing with Piccolo's antennas. So that was just a good callback during this chapter when she did it again on him. So it is funny to see like who he entered into the series, the child of the Demon King Piccolo, and was a villain, and now just seeing him just the most like fatherly type figure for some of our favorite characters. So I think it's just, I always enjoy the Piccolo slice of life moments.
Yeah, obviously, and I would imagine they coincide, but this is obviously speculatory. There's never been like a definitive statement, but like Vegeta's popularity, where it clearly became the Goku and Vegeta show, we don't really talk about Piccolo's like character development, because if you're definitely rolling with him from his Junior days in Dragon Ball to like where he is now, because I can only imagine. So like here in the States, we got Dragon Ball after Dragon Ball Z, like a considerably long time, like years after they finally dubbed Dragon Ball. But I can only imagine for like people who saw it in chronological order, like that moment of when Piccolo shows up in Dragon Ball Z to help Goku get Gohan back. Like, I can only imagine like that was probably like a crazy plot twist, right, that no one saw coming, because Piccolo was the bad guy in Dragon Ball. Like, he was like the big bad. Yeah, his dad, and then him.
Pretty vicious fight in Dragon Ball. So
yeah, in the world tournaments, yeah. Like the shit went super left. Right. So like to have that, and that was like one of the last couple episodes of Dragon Ball in terms of like before the show finished off, and then obviously it ended with like the wedding and whatnot, what have you. But I can only imagine like when Gohan got kidnapped and Krillin can't do shit, and Goku's just like, oh, I need to go get my son, but I don't know if I can do my son. And Piccolo shows up, like, yo, what's up? Right. Like, we out. And he's like, wait, what? You about to help me?
Yeah.
Was that ever given an explanation? Like, was that ever like delved into like why he decided to help, outside of like, oh, it's a strong person I can fight?
I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'd have to look back. Don't quote me on this, but maybe it was because he wanted to be the person to defeat Goku, and not this other Saiyan coming in trying to take his work.
That checks out.
That's usually how like friend of a friend is my, or like, what is it, the
enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, something like that. Yeah, so
I feel like
because I just remember like Piccolo showing up on the beach, and like Krillin and Master Roshi and Bulma like, oh fuck, oh shit, like this day couldn't get any worse. And Pickles is like, relax, relax. But that, I like that. If that ain't the reason why, that's the reason why. Now we making that canon. He ain't want nobody to beat Goku before he beat Goku. Right. So that's the reason why. Another cool detail that I like that they added was just kind of like the breakdown of like Hito's past and everything. I know they mentioned it in the movie, but it felt like really quick. Like they had the screen up with Dr. Gero and Android 21, 22. I forget which number she was in the game, but making her canon because she was in the
it was 21 in the video game.
20, in the fighters, like having that be Dr. Gero's wife and then whatnot. And I don't remember if this was included or if it wasn't, but I know in the manga they were saying that Hito is the son of Dr. Gero's first kid, and then the android that he modeled 16 was like his second son. I thought that they made 16 Hito's dad.
You have it reversed. So
it's reversed.
So 16's
the second son,
was the first son, and then his Hito's parents, his parent was the second son, and then so gotcha. Was that how it was in the movie too, or was 16 like the dad? It was like 16 and the mystery woman were. No, it was like that in the movie. It
was like in the movie too. Okay, cool. But I'd like I said, I know they mentioned it, but they kind of like, obviously to just set the stage and then get into the movie, they kind of like went through it. So like reading it and like just like the added details and whatnot, I really enjoyed just kind of like fleshing that out, just making it, because it's in the movie for me, it just seemed like, oh, Red Ribbon's back. Like it didn't like have any depth, or like oh shit, they're back, or they've been like ground, like Hydra under the ground, kind of like bubbling up and everything. I guess just seeing it in text that they turned into a pharmaceutical company, which is like, they did, hilarious to like.
They did go over that in the movie. About like the
I was saying, I just felt like it just went quick. Like it was just like a exposition type of conversation.
To be honest with you, that's why I was disappointed with this chapter, because even though they kind of gave like an additional text, like I wanted more. Like I think that if unless Toyotaro is being pressured by Toei, by Toriyama to finish this arc within a certain time to get to whatever they have planned next, I was hoping that we would get a little bit more of the Hito's backstory, like maybe this is going to come at a later time, but we learn about who his actual parents are, or and I don't want to actually, I'm not going to be jumping ahead because these aren't really new details, but none of the new details that you're going to talk about, but I wanted to see Hito create Gamma 1 and 2. Like the fact that the chapter
maybe we'll get a flashback
that just ended with Gamma 2 showing up. Like I wanted to see that. I definitely would have wanted to see some of Hito's interactions in jail, because why did those all his inmates like hate him? You know, like I would have even if it wasn't just a quick like one shot panel of just like him just being like showing off his like quirky personalities as to why he couldn't like work in any laboratories, showing that in jail too, because obviously they didn't he couldn't get along with any of the inmates in there as well. So I would have liked a little bit more Hito backstory, especially with his parents. And obviously, you know, we might get that at a later time, but just kind of like, even though they did add like little tiny details, I was still like thinking like you could have added more, because it really just felt like just a retelling of the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Gotcha. So for clarification, what I was talking about, I meant more for like how and why Red Ribbon was coming back, not necessarily Hito. I agree with you 100% about the Hito, and I think we might get some flashback panels of him building Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. That seems like something that I feel like Dragon Ball has done that before. Like they'll introduce a character and then give us the backstory, like after they're introduced already. But I meant just more so with Red Ribbon coming back, because like the goal was to obviously not get Hito up, but pick Hito up, introduce him, make that connection, so that way he can like build the androids, have them introduced and whatnot, what have you. I feel like not rushed, but it wasn't like an important detail in the movie. But I feel like reading it in the panel and them saying like, oh, the Red Ribbon Army, like they managed to keep funding by turning into a pharmaceutical company on paper and doing medicine. That's how they were able to like stay afloat, because it was like in the movie it just feels like they just popped back up. It was just like, y'all got gutted like mad times. Like Goku fucked y'all up so many times. Like
I'm pretty
Dr.
sure
Zero
though,
came
in the
back
beginning
failed.
they did give that detail about Magenta using Red Pharmaceuticals as a front to rebuild the rebuilding army. Yeah. Which is like, yeah,
I guess it felt more important, I guess, in text, because like you said, because they added like extra lines of dialogue, maybe it felt more like important.
Yeah,
like with him being, with Magnata being Commander Red's son, that didn't feel important in the movie. But like reading it in the manga, I was like, oh shit, I forgot. Like reading, I was like, oh, I forgot that was his son. Like it didn't. It just seemed like because he had the picture of him on his desk, and then it was kind of like referenced really quick, like son of Commander Red, blah 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 blah, and then on to the other shit.
Yeah.
But like them being like, I was like, oh yeah, all right, bet, all right, cool.
Yeah, I feel like it was just like the same retelling of the first 15 minutes of the movie, and like, if the intention is to like drive people to read the manga, and especially at the cadence that they're releasing it once a month, I just feel like at this point
you want more.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point with them, like there should be less, there's like smaller room for error, especially if you're adapting it from something that's already out. Because why should somebody after the prequel arc go to this chapter if they've seen the movie? Like someone could just be like, hey, for those who have read, are there any additional details that, you know, we should know about? It's like, oh, well, you know, they kind of reordered a little bit the structure of it. We do see Krillin spying on.
I was gonna get to that. I loved all that.
Yeah, I did like that.
Last chapter we were saying like, we're gonna be pissed if they follow the movie beat per beat, because Krillin didn't even show up until mad later. So to have him like already know about the plan to build Cell Max and like not have him be involved, so I loved that whole interaction. And I actually went back and watched the movie last night to like see which parts were different and what were the same. I love that whole part of Krillin, like his police department already knowing that this was going on and that they're going to try to stop it beforehand, and they sent Krillin to like go track him and everything. I loved all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope too, like as this arc progresses in the manga, that we see even though I think his name is Victor Uchida. I might be messing up his name, but he when he was promoting this next chapter, he was like, oh, Goten and Trunks step out of the spotlight. But I hope that doesn't mean that they're just going to appear like the first time that
Like
they
how they did.
reappear is
Like
for
how they did in the
Yeah, it's
movie.
for the Cell Max fight, because the fact that they've met Hito, they know about Hito. Like in the movie, it was just like, oh, we just popped in because we heard some shit was going down.
Y'all needed some
Right.
help. Yeah.
So I do hope that, like, even if it's like a few panels where Krillin is talking to them about what is going on, and they're like, oh, we want to join, like, we're gonna come join you, like, just something like that, just so it doesn't feel as random for them to just pop up, and then for Piccolo to be like, oh shit, I haven't seen y'all in like y'all just hit a growth
Y'all
spurt.
got big, yeah. Well, could you for the viewers, and by viewers I mean myself, can you talk about who said that they weren't really going to be featured a lot like that?
It was his name is Victory. I think it's a Victory. I don't even hold on. Victory Uchida. I think that's his name.
What the hell, Bulma?
If you want to just kind of go over the additional details while I look this up.
I was so invested in what you was about to say. I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear that. I zoned out. But while Trav looks that up, Mike, you can cut out that silence. while Trav looks up those
I was like,
details.
it's a lot of pressure.
My fault, bro. I was really locked in. I was like, oh damn, we got some news reports in here. But to go along with what you were saying, Trav, I do think they have to. Goten and Trunks have to have a bigger part than what they had in the movie, because they even mentioned them, like when Magneto was like having the plan and everything about why they needed to build Cell Max, because he was like telling them to lie, like, oh yeah, Bulma's formed this alien group that are trying to take over the world, but they're fake, like they're heroes, so they can get everybody's trust, and then they're gonna take over and stuff. When he had brought up Capsule Corp, Hito was just like, Capsule Corp? He was just like, oh shit, her son put me in jail. Like he mentioned it. He was like, yo, her son was the reason that I got locked up. And he seemed like he had some salt about that. So I would imagine the fact that he mentioned Trunks is the reason that he had to spend that time in jail, and he clearly modeled Gamma 1 and 2 off of Saiyan Man X1, Saiyan Man X2. I would imagine that has to come up. Like when Goten and Trunks like see them, they would have to be like, oh shit, that kind of look like our costumes, and that'd be dope to have that fight.
Yeah,
they'd get waxed by Gamma 1 and 2, but that would be dope to have Saiyan Man X1 and 2 versus Gamma 1 and 2. But I would hope, and I would imagine for them to have teased that Hito's just like, oh shit, yeah, I'll definitely help you get the Capsule Corp back, because her son locked me up, like got me locked up. That would be part of his scheme for the revenge plot, which was an added detail that wasn't in the movie that I liked. I also like the conversation that when they were having in the car, because it was touched on in the movie that Hito was obviously tricked into helping, but I like that they really drove home the fact that Hito is actually, like, for the most part, like a good guy, and he wants to like do things to like help protect the earth, and all his experiments are because he idolizes heroes, and he wants to do things. Like he straight up told Bull, he was just like, yeah, you trying to build weapons of destruction because you want to, like, take over and conquer, right? And he was like, yeah, pretty much. He was like, yeah, that's not my stick, bro. He was just like, I actually the exact opposite. It's like, it's how I give it up. Like I want to help. Yeah, I can be of service.
So I was right in the end, right with the name. That is a dope name, Victory Uchida. And he's the editor of V Jump magazine. And when now that Toei has gotten involved in the promotion, so whenever the draft pages release, sometimes they'll do like a little like promo or announcement or whatever. And Victory Uchida had said, Goten and Trunks step out of the spotlight, but now Gohan and Piccolo make an appearance. So if people can take that statement, literal or not, like if they literally think that, okay, they're literally not going to appear until the end, or if it was just for this specific chapter. But for this chapter, that I did like a small little detail that I think, kind of helps with the story was Hito when he found out about like the Earth, like when they were trying to say, oh, it's the group who defeated Cell, and they're behind.
He's like, wasn't that Hercule?
Yeah, and then when he's like,
not really.
when they're behind Bulma's Capsule Corporation, he was like, oh, the son of Bulma Trunks is the reason why I'm in jail. And I feel like adding that little detail gives a little bit more like belief in the fact of why Hito would want to be involved in creating these androids, because in the movie, you know, they show Goku and Vegeta and Majin Buu up on their big teleprompter screen, whatever you want to call it, and say, hey, these are our enemies. Like,
yeah,
all right, like Hito's probably like Hito doesn't know them, so like it's, and he's a smart guy for him to just flat out blatantly believe like, oh, these are the enemies, but at least he has some sort of like vendetta against Trunks. So adding that little detail, I think, helped with the story. But yeah.
Yeah, no, and to go off of that, that's what I was just saying when you were looking it up. I can't imagine that you would add that detail and then have Goten and Trunks not show up until the same time that they did with the movie, which was like towards the end after Saw Max was activated. Because it's like, for them to have added that, and like you were just saying, Trev, in the movie, it was pretty much like, all right, these guys are bad. You want to be a hero? We need to defeat these guys. I liked that added part of the Trunks part and the vendetta against Capsule Corp, because I'm hoping maybe they like launch an attack on Capsule Corp, which would be a reason for Goten and Trunks, since Trunks lives there, to like help out or whatever. Like, it would add more depth.
That would be honestly, that would be cool if they launched an attack at Capsule Corporation, and that's what prompted them to show up at the fight. Like, who's showing up here, and then they see the red ribbon insignia, and then Krillin can pop in, like, because obviously, you know, there's going to be commotion within the city. They hear it's happening at Bulma's place, and Krillin can show up like, oh shit, they're starting to make their moves. Here, come with, like, even though, because I remember he was like, say, like, Krillin acts like the uncle and is like, I shouldn't have told you guys like about this. So that would be like funny if like they got attacked, and then he's just like, and then they handle it, and he's like, what's going on, Krillin? He's like, don't tell Chi-Chi, but come with me.
I shouldn't be telling you, this is classified information,
right?
Like, yeah, and then even them giving Krillin a considerable, way bigger role than what he had in the movie. I would imagine the fact that the police force, because they're aware of it, because they didn't really, that wasn't really fleshed out in the movie, or it wasn't even a fact. Like, I feel like Krillin's involvement was more so because like he's friends with the Z Fighters, so he was like, oh, in proximity to what was going on, so it's just like, yo, come help us out.
Yeah, how funny is it that Krillin is reporting to like someone higher up in the police force?
Yeah, and she was like, how the fuck you lose him, bro? Like, what did you do? He's like, my bad, boss. Like, but I do like them. I like the fact that Krillin is involved solely based off of like what he's got going on. Because in the movie, it was like, yo, bro, we about to go run down on Red Ribbon. You coming? He's like, I don't really want to go, but if he's saying I have to,
yeah.
Like he was out of the loop until they was just like, yeah, we need to go handle this. But I like that, you know, his police force is like investigating it. They were like already aware of it before the plan started getting into motion, and he was like the one that's like reporting it, because that, like you said, that would make sense for that's how Goten and Trunks, because obviously Piccolo's gonna find out.
Right.
It seems the way through the movie, you know, with Gamma 2 attacking them, and then we would imagine the whole that I would imagine the Gohan and Piccolo plot is going to be identical to how the movie went, and like flow the same way. I think it's everybody else around them.
I will say I do like how they are making the Earthlings more valuable. Like as you were just talking about with Krillin and his involvement in the investigation, like. Cool. Like, finally, he's not pulling his Wong impersonation and be like, I'm going to leave the premises. Like, I feel like leading up to, like, prior to the Tournament of Power, he was always just, you know what, guys? Are we sure we want to do this? It's like, bruh, either you do it or the planet that you're living on is being destroyed by whatever evil. Like, he would always question if they should fight when it's like, well, you could fight or die. So
right, the alternative is getting Earth blown up again.
Right.
Like, I would imagine the dragon, all the times Earth or Earth's people been brought back, he'd be like, again? Like,
right. Or he shows up to another planet where then like trouble happens and he's like, yo, should we really be doing this? Why did you come in the first place? Like, don't show up then, bro.
you know what's crazy? Like, And I understand why they wouldn't do this. I'm just speaking of like if this was like a real world, like using my logic brain. After everything that happened in the Tournament of Power, and after finding out that, you know, Universe 7 was one of like the lowest in terms of like their mortal level in terms of strength, how come they never made that wish? Like, yo, can we like up the strength of the people of Earth? Like, not necessarily give them like powers or anything.
Yeah.
But like,
well,
I think let's make them a little bit more self-sufficient.
Well, I think the mortal level went like beyond strength. It also like went like the, I guess, quote unquote quality of people and just how, and also too, we have to remember the universe is ran by one of the laziest Supreme Kais, or actually, I don't even know. I don't even want to get. He's not even worth calling lazy. I just think he's inept. Like, I just think that he just doesn't like. Remember, I mean, obviously they didn't have Broly movie planned yet. They didn't release it, but when he was recruited for the Tournament of Power and said, there's only 24, 26 planets, and, you know, like, bro, it almost, you know how, like, when you ask somebody to do something, or if you're at the store and you say, hey, is this item available? And they say it's not available, and they didn't even look on their computer to check the inventory, you're just like, bro, I know you can you at least check to confirm that it's not available? Like, that's what I feel like with Supreme Kai when he was recruited for the Tournament of Power. He just said, yeah, no, everybody's on there, just recruit there, just recruit there. It's like, bro, did you even scour the universe to see if there was other strong beings? Like,
nah, you know who Supreme Kai is? Supreme Kai is, he's that friend, like, let's say you're doing a task that you're not good at. Let's say changing a tire, just to throw out something that everybody can relate to. And like, you're struggling, and then you finally get it done, and then you got like a friend who's been in the crib like, oh, I used to work on cars, I could have did that for you. It's like, you've been watching me struggle for 2 hours to change this tire. Yeah. And now you be like, oh, you used to work for Pep Boys, you could have like banged that out. Or you had an electric drill.
He's watching the Tournament of Power with beers and watching like everyone struggle, and he said, oh, you didn't know there's a mutant Saiyan on planet Vampa that we could get. Oh, and there's a sniper that specializes in hitting vital points on planet Serial that could really knock people out in this tournament.
Facts.
Yeah, so
yeah, he's trash.
Yeah, he's not even lazy. He's just inept. Like, he's just not good at his job.
And then it's so crazy. It's not really ever spoken on a lot, because the angels and the God of Destructions, they spend so much time together that people always usually like link them, when it's really the God of the Destruction and the Supreme Kai of that universe that are like tethered together. And all the universes, they don't ever really talk about that too much.
And didn't you notice for all the other universes, when they were doing the Tournament of Power recruitment, like mini like arc, if you want to call it, every Supreme Kai was chilling with the angel in
yeah, they were all, it was like all three of them. Yeah,
Supreme Kai's the only one that's just got his own planet. Yo, my man, you know what happened? Actually, you know what happened? My man, you never heard when people say like, actually, the more money I make, the less work I do. This man got a promotion, and it's just divvying his work. He's just forwarding emails. He's not even he's not doing any of his. He's showing up to meetings. You know what?
I'm management. I don't do all that.
You know what he is? He's
like,
that.
I don't do that grunt work.
He's that like upper management employee that's just fills their calendar with meetings to make it seem like they're doing work and busy.
One-on-ones and shit.
Yes. Mad touch bases.
Yo, code Devo and come to my office.
Right.
Yeah.
Supreme Kai is like, hey, my God Outlook is booked. I might be able to squeeze in a 30-minute with you, but I don't know.
He said, yo, I'll send you the link to my my Google Calendar. See if you can find a day in there. Just go ahead and put yourself in there, bro.
I might have a conflict, but I'll try to show up.
Yeah, I see what I can do, bro. that's facts. That's exactly who it is. I think they mentioned it like one time in the Zamasu arc where B, or maybe it might have been the Tournament of Power, where B was basically saying like, bro, like if you die, I die. Like I need you to stay on your P's and Q's, bro. Like,
and he's not strong at all. Like he can get off
pretty easily. And he was, I wouldn't say he was a problem, but like the mystique around him was way better in Dragon Ball Z until
Piccolo
a certain point. Like, yeah, Piccolo was super shook. He's like, why is he here? He's like, I forfeit. He was like, I'm cool.
And you know what was like so strange to me? Like once it was revealed who he was and what he was trying to prevent, I was kind of thinking like, all right, so why did you let Spopovich drain Gohan of his energy. Like, there were just so many things that he kind of just allowed happen that contributed to the resurrection of Majin Buu. And also, too, like, bro, you should know where he's located. Like, and also to circle back real quick on the strength thing. And also us mentioning that the other Kais just chill with the God of Destruction and the Angel.
I think they're all together. At least
that tells me that they're all smarter than Supreme Kai, because if Supreme Kai of Universe 7 is not going to, Shin, if he's not going to train and get stronger, then you might as well just stay to the hip of Beerus, because if someone tries to kill you, at least you got Beerus on your side. Like, facts. All those other Kais are like, yo, I'm chilling with the God of Destruction. You try to kill me, you gotta get through him or her first. So like, but Shin is just like, nah, I got a planet on my own. I'm kicking it.
We taking away his title. He's Shin again, bro. We revoking him of his Supreme Kai status. And then it's like, it's funny the shit you think of when you start to go on a tangent.
We done giving the details of this chapter.
They're facts. Fuck was on Beerus's biscuit that he like felt that he could afford taking a 10 million year nap while he got his weak ass Supreme Kai counterparts just out here running the world.
That's why their mortal level was so low, because ain't nobody was policing the universe. You got
Beerus would have been tight if he woke up dead. Like, my man took a 10 million year nap and woke up dead. Like, what the fuck happened?
Listen, you got the God of Destruction hitting the snooze button for like millions of years, and
at a time,
and you have the Supreme Kai on his Kyrie Irving shit and taking unlimited PTO. So of course they're going to be one of the lower mortal levels, because you got tyrants like Frieza running the universe. You got Majin Buu, Kid Buu, like destroying the universe, while my man is sleeping calmly. He's sleeping calmly. Shin is over there in his brand new Tesla, driving around. Like, it's Universe 7 got some scam artists. They got some scam artists.
On Earth. Scam likely.
Yeah.
But so they don't kill us in the comments for try to answer your question. But there's mad holes that we could poke into it. When their explanation as to why they let Spopovich and Yamu steal Gohan's power was they didn't know where Babidi's hidden fortress was, and they needed them to get enough power to want to go back to dump the energy off to follow.
But how is that? Like, how is that
the Supreme Kai?
Yeah. How do you not know? That's the thing that like really pissed me off when he said that. I was just like, bro, how do you not know this? Like, how?
Yeah, one. How do you not know that? The Kais
were the last ones to fight Majin Buu.
Yeah, like, and not only that, it's just like, you have the tools to not have done it that way. Like, you got Baba. You could have asked her to use her crystal ball. Like, you got King Yema, who like knows the location of everybody at all times. We got
Zuno now, who has all the answers.
Like I'm saying, there's definitely if I was Gohan, I'd have been sitting at the barbecue, like, yo, bro, you were there to let me get shanked up. There wasn't any other way we could have found that base. Like, and then not only that, like, they weren't that far away. Like, they took a little quick flight over to this island. And then it's like, I know I was like flying from the sky and like obviously plot protection. Like, half of my man's shit was out of the ground. Like, it wasn't like it was all submerged.
He
like
was out
the
in the
entrance,
he was waiting to get
the
caught.
entrance was above ground. Like, it could have been like, and it had the fucking Majin M on the shit. Like, it was.
We're like, yo, you think that's it?
Yeah,
I think the giant M gives it away. I think that's the location.
I think that might be it, bro.
and for Shin to not know the level of like how much a fight between Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta would, like, how much energy that would produce, bro. Like, What have you been monitoring this whole time? Like, how do you not know the power levels of these beings on Earth? Like, hell, like, you don't got like a secretary or some database where you could just go into, like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to Earth. Let me do. Okay, so, oh wow, they have some strong mortals there. Okay, all right, my man just pulled up and said, and it's like when someone's being trained at a restaurant, and you have like the one person just watching over them, just making sure everything goes okay. Like that was Shin and Kibito at the World Tournament. Just making sure everything goes.
What's always funny in that scenario? Like when you're at like a restaurant or any type of like service industry, when you do have that person that's being trained, especially in retail sales, like when someone's working the register, that manager or the trainer will like add so much unnecessary pressure by saying like, oh, this person's training. Like now I feel like shit.
Right,
Like,
right.
and I gotta be on my super grind to make sure I don't fuck up. Cause now you got these customers looking at me like I'm just new bitch on the block.
And it's pretty obvious when someone is taking an order and there's someone right behind them. Like,
but it's so funny. Yeah, facts. But it's so funny. It's just like before you even started any type of transaction or greeting, is the person over your shoulder. They're new. They're in training. Give them time. It's like, damn, bro, I could have bodied this
Right,
sale.
right.
You don't even know. Nothing's happened yet.
I feel like you shouldn't say that until maybe if they
until they make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so-
And like whenever I see people in those positions, like I'm automatically try to be, as understanding and nice as
Facts.
possible, because I know that's probably a pressure setting right there. But yeah, they're like, all right, so like, all right, damn, like let them cook.
Yeah,
You don't know what they're capable of.
And then they're all like, I'll be right here. You make it think they gonna like go be busy. No, they just standing there watching. Like, all right, I'll call you if I need you. Damn, let me breathe.
Or how about when they ask you how they did, like right in front of them? So like, like how was the service today? It's like, damn, you really a snitch. Like, get off their
damn.
top. Damn.
Like, let me walk off first. Like, before you start critiquing my work.
Right.
Like, jeez. Only on DB4L will you get breakdowns of the service industry with your manga reviews.
Yeah. So that was
The range.
Was there anything else that we missed with this chapter, or could we conclude the chapter review?
We got everybody's favorite news section of this podcast. You got any final thoughts? Insert soundbite here.
If you're going to release the manga on a month-to-month basis, you got to give us more than just what's already out there.
That's facts. Just kind of doubling down on what I said. I do like the little small details that we talked about, like Hito's motivation to helping out, being part of him being salty about Trunks getting him booked. Also, Krillin having way more involvement, which I hope continues. I'm optimistic that they're going to add some details that will, like you said, Trav, give the readers a reason to wait the month to read it. Because outside of that, just watch the movie, and just zone out for a year till the next arc starts. So,
Exactly.
And I'm also curious to see, because like we keep saying, and we're probably going to keep saying it until we start to get a better idea how this is going to form. I don't see them letting this arc be just the movie and then waiting another 2 years to circle back to Black Frieza and who the threat is that's coming and why Frieza let them live and who really is the strongest. I would find that to be a major fumble, like on having that somewhat of a cliffhanger end of the Granola arc to then give us the movie just in written form and then wait another year and then bring that back. I would think that would all be grouped together. So I'm excited to see how they fit all that in and if there's going to be like one combined arc. So we will definitely see. Well, Trav, I guess before we close this bad boy out, there was some news that happened between the last time we did a review. We got an announcement of a long-awaited game.
Anyone that is listening to this podcast that is a Dragon Ball fan and did not lose their shit when this was announced, then you're not a Dragon Ball fan, okay? You're just not.
At all.
So, Bandai, then they did a great job of just keeping this under wraps. In a teaser, this was like 2 weeks ago, we are getting
had no idea it was coming out.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai 4, right? We don't know if it's going to be officially titled that, but it is the next iteration of that Budokai franchise, and
Tenkaichi
Budokai Tenkaichi 4. So it's the next iteration in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, and everybody has been clamoring for a Budokai Tenkaichi 4, and the reason why there's multiple reasons why people.
Tenkaichi 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
like fighting games.
So there's multiple reasons why people are really excited about this. One is because just the vast amount of characters that the Budokai Tenkaichi series offered, like even down to Frieza soldiers that you didn't even realize had names.
A Paul,
yeah, right.
A Paul, whatever the fuck his name is.
They had, I think it was Masako X who brought this up when he was talking about Budokai Tenkaichi and why it's a game that's beloved by so many people. Is that I wouldn't say it's like easy to play, but it's also a good game for people that just want to have fun, don't want to like play competitive, just want to go in and play the video game, it's a good game for them to jump into. Because the one thing that made me kind of like just turn away from fighters is because you go online and you get fucking murked. Like,
man, them extended chained combos that people be having down pat.
And not saying that the same might not happen in Budokai Tenkaichi, but at least with Budokai Tenkaichi, you could play with your friends, and it was a fun competitiveness where, like, if you play fighters, you really got to know the combos, or you're just button mashing. Like, you're just and then you go online and you just get just cooked, and it just took the fun out of it. Where I just feel like Budokai Tenkaichi, all those games, whether you were a beginner, a novice, or an expert, you could play it with your friends, you could play it by yourself, and you were just gonna have a ball. And the fact that now we have Dragon Ball Super, and the amount of characters that they can have, if they have the same level of character database that they did for the other series, oh my god, bro! Like, so real quick, Matt,
I'm hyped, bro.
Which super character would you be most excited to play that hasn't made an appearance in a video game yet?
So to answer your answer with a anecdote, and that will lead into your answer, you're absolutely right. Like, with fighters, you either are really good or you're ass. Right. Like, there's no in between. Like, that's not a casual game. And I think it's because like that 2D Street Fighter, like when that game came out, it was super hype. It was like, oh shit, a Street Fighter Dragon Ball game? Like, this is epic. And it was kind of riding that retro nostalgia wave. But the thing that I think was so fun about Budokai, when's the last time we got a good split screen fighting game?
Right.
Like, I can't remember the last split screen fighting game. Like, outside of, like, if you want to consider Mario Kart a fighter, which is, I know it's a racer, but it's just like there aren't really that many split screen fighting games out anymore. But like part of like the super fun part about the Budokai series, because it was split screen fighting, it's like you could run away, like hide behind shit. That was part of the fun. Like, if you playing, like, if you have a friend that picks like Broly and you run with like Krillin or some shit, like you could fly, like fly in the ocean and try to hide, and, like throw energy blasts and run away and shit. Like, you could try to strategize. It's not just like a 2D fighter where it's like you can't run in fighters. You're either getting waxed, or get waxed.
Once you get hit with like a combo, oh, you're done.
The chain combos, it's over, yo. But I would say, so I remember with Vegeta, obviously, and a big part of also why I love Budokai Tenkaichi is because like you can transform in game. Like, you don't have to like because I can't remember which game it was. It might have been Budokai before it went Tenkaichi, but one of those games, the early Dragon Ball games, like you couldn't. And I know fighters is the same way. You couldn't use the forms in battle. Like, if you like were playing as like base form and you were like playing with your friends, like, oh, I'm going Super Saiyan, y'all had to like quit the match and then come back in and pick the Super Saiyan version, like, for the storyline of y'all fight and shit that y'all creating. But I would say a character that hasn't made an appearance, I think in the Budokai format, Hit would be really dope to use. Yeah. Like, if he can like time skip like across the board and shit, that would be fire. I think Hit would be a fire character to play with. Yeah, for sure. Or who's the rabbit from the squad? That's Despo. Oh, that was gonna be yours.
How do we do this all the time? How do we do this? Because in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, I love using Oob because of how fast he was, and which was low key kind of. When I think about it, I'm like, oh, the only black character in the game is the fastest character in the game. But, you know, we ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, I mean,
I ain't mad at it though. But anyways, I think Dispo will be a fun character to play as.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Because I always just like super fast characters, so like I think you can get like real cool combos out of that. Dispo. So since you beat me to it, so Dispo, and then who else would I really? Actually, you know what? I would low key like to use Zamasu before he became but just because like we never
before they fused.
Yeah, because I mean, as we were just talking about how shitty Shin is, like it's cool. It was cool to see a Kai like actually in fights. So I think he'd have some cool actually, you know, and then also too you know who's actually going to be fun if they have him in there is 7-3, because if they have a technique where, or if you do a combo and he grabs the back of the fighter's neck and then you get some of their moves, I think that would be cool.
That would be dope. That would be shoot. Yeah, I would fuck with that a lot. And that doesn't seem like something that wouldn't be manageable in that type of game. Right. I know with the android, you could like suck up energy blade waves and
with
stuff.
Ginyu, you could switch bodies. So like
yeah, you could do change form.
Yeah, so
7-3 would be fire. Mm-hmm. Moro would be dope too.
Yeah, because Moro had a lot of like really cool techniques that are like gonna be very dope to use in video games. Granola will probably be a fun character to use as well.
Granola would be lit.
Yeah,
that would be super fire if they gave him like a sniping style fight.
Right, and to your point of just that whole
you gotta
tactic,
run away.
if you for Granola you run away and then you do a combo and he like snipes you from afar. That would be dope.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
That would actually be cool if he, in close combat, he doesn't do as much damage. Like
he's not that good.
Yeah, like that would be cool if you actually kind of have to have some distance to get. Like
the further away, the more damage he can cause. Yeah, that would definitely be fire. I would fuck with that a lot. But no, I was super excited. It's crazy because like I had saw the trailer. Like when it had dropped, like on it was like a repost on someone's YouTube, and it looks like the graphics look like fighters. Like when Goku changed to Super Saiyan Blue, it looked like when you pick Super Saiyan Blue Goku in fighters and he transforms because you can't change in game. I was just like, oh, this was a really well fan made shit. Got me hype. I was excited. When I was just like, if only. But then I saw it kept getting reposted. And I was like, damn, this whoever made this video, they're about to take off. And then I saw, I was like, the official announcement. I was like, oh, because anytime I see some shit on YouTube first, like my cynicism always makes me think fan made. So I always like go to IGN to see if it's there first.
And plus, fan animators are getting really good, which is dope.
Really good.
Which is dope.
Really good.
Dope to see.
Yeah. So I went to IGN and it wasn't there, and I kept like refreshing the page every couple minutes and nothing. And then I like was Googling it and it was still like scarce details, but then I saw like the official, like the seal of approval, and I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
When I saw on Twitter Budokai Tenkaichi 4 trending, I thought someone had just said something and it was just a topic of discussion, but then I actually saw that it's coming. So
the super fast.
Yeah, I mean, like my PS5 is collecting dust. That's not because of like just games that aren't out. I just life has been busy. But
life be life. You have a lot of major things coming up in your life now, bro.
I'm off the streets now.
You know what I mean? Out the market.
Yeah. So
market.
Nah, we'll definitely maybe when the video game drops, we can do like a special like live of the DB4L crew playing it for the first time. So
and we can now stream shit off of Riverside like directly. So we can stream and screen share. So that could be a thing.
Yeah, well,
absolutely could be a thing. I'd be here for that for sure.
Yeah, DB4L's live reaction playing Budokai Tenkaichi 4 for the first time.
That should be lit. But before we close this bad boy out, speaking of upcoming major events, April 22nd.
Get your tickets.
April 22nd. Get your tickets now. It is the first annual collabo party between Riot Nerd Philly and the DB4L family. It is the first annual Cospalooza. It's going to be a cosplay themed party happening in Philadelphia. So if you're in the tri-state area, or if you love us enough to catch a plane ticket, I can guarantee you there has never been, and there ain't going to be another party like this until we do another one. Then it'll be another party like this. But it is going to be a cosplay themed party. It is not limited to anime and manga characters. You could be any fictional character from a book, from a video game, from a comic. I made the joke, if you want to wear jeans and a white tee talking about some family and say that you're Dominic Toretto, feel free. Any imaginary character that floats your boat, please come. It is encouraged. It is going to be a blast. It is happening April 22nd. That is a Saturday. 10 p.m. is the start time. It's going to be at Milk Boy on the Chestnut Street one. I had said the South Street one before. I was mistaken. It is the Chestnut Street location, April 22nd. We will put all the links of where you can get your tickets in the description for this video. It's also in the link on our DB4L IG page, which is DB4L_pod. It's also in my IG bio, which is _menace2 sobriety. That is the number 2, not spelled out. But as always, we call you guys the lifers because you literally put the life into Dragon Ball for life. To stay up to date on all your podcast needs and all things DB4L, just click on the link Tree of Might. Haha, see what I did there? In the description of this episode. And then, like we always say here on the Dragon Ball for Life podcast, whether you watch it or you read it, we all need it. So follow your fandom right back here, and we will see you next time on Dragon Ball for Life. Wow. Dodon Ray. Shout out to super producer Mikey.
We love you, Mikey. Get out. And shout out to Yali.
All caps. Wow.
Mortals, listen up. It's your god of destruction, Beerus here. Subscribe and follow the Dragon Ball for Life podcast, or else you shall be erased from existence. Hakai.